I don't care how much you like Cal Kestis. Californication probably makes that off limits for this channel at least. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Today I want to talk about why you should probably start gambling on Cal Kestis, trying to get an early unlock on him. We're going to go over the reasons and why the gamble is probably worthwhile. We'll see. You guys can convince me otherwise in the comments, I'm sure, but I actually do think this is going to be a good idea, and I'm going to show you why. How it looks on my alt account, my little account, my 4.7 million account. So let's go into it, folks. First, let's say thanks to my patrons. You guys are awesome, and really appreciate all the support, guys. Truly, I couldn't do this without you. I'm so excited. This new computer is amazing, and you know, I owe it to, in large part, to you guys. And yeah, thank you guys so much, truly. And honestly, guys, Twitch people, that sounds horrible. Hey, twitching people. People on Twitch, man, I keep meaning to try. I'm trying to make infographics or whatever you want to call them for this as well. Shouting you guys out. Your support on Twitch is also super appreciated. We'll get your names up on one of these here soon. I believe it. At some point we'll make it happen. So, guys, just a reminder: if you want to support this channel for free, all you've got to do is hit that like button, subscribe, comment, do something to help mount the algorithm, the Calgorithm. All right, guys, the Cal Kestis algorithm. That doesn't sound as cool as Calgorithm. All right. So first off, I just point this out, guys. You guys can find this infographic on my Discord server. It's found. The link's found in the video description. I actually think that it has a typo on the updated version. Well, it's not as updated as this one, but it's just one typo, and that's for Grand Inquisitor. I think that there's, you guys can find it if you really want. But the biggest thing, guys, the reason I'm showing you this at all is just to demonstrate how expensive Cal is. So we obviously don't know how much Cal Survivor is going to require for just his Carbanti, for his Chirotech, but I just used Afra's numbers for that to speculate. I think that that's a pretty reasonable speculation, but he's an expensive boy, and so a lot of people are like, oh man, I'm just not going to work on him yet. He looks like he's probably not going to be that great, and I get that. I understand why you would think that. However, we have things to talk about. We have things to discuss. So first off, I do want to make sure that people understand. I think if you can get Leviathan and you care about PvP, which, or your fleet arena, Leviathan's probably going to be more important. Now, I'm pretty convinced, honestly, I don't think you're going to need Leviathan to be able to climb in squad or in fleet arena, and GAC obviously you're going to be at a disadvantage, but Leviathan isn't quite as important as people are kind of screaming that it is. I do think it's important though, and if you can get Leviathan, I think it's worth focusing on earlier. I also don't necessarily think that working on Leviathan requirements is going to be mutually exclusive to working on Cal requirements either. So let's just look at the bad. So obviously Carbanti and Chirotech, that's a lot. I mean, the Carbanti's not that bad considering the new raid rewards. We can get that pretty quickly, but the Chiro, it's one of the big bottlenecks, and that is a whole entire ass load of Chirotech, a buttload, an ass load, all kinds of loads. Don't blow yours. So here's the thing. The requirements aren't that great either. Not yet, at least. Tarful looks like, okay, cool, man. Like, you look hairy, I guess. He looks like a turd polisher that doesn't really get his characters very far. Same with Saw Gerrera. Like even Seer, she looks okay in some builds, but it's a fairly advanced character, you're gonna need an Omicron for her. Like there's just a lot of like, I don't know. But I mean, so Baby Cal and Marin both look really good. Honestly, they both look pretty strong. But the requirements aren't wonderful, and they're expensive. And 6 months is a long time to farm these characters if you don't do any refreshes, which if you do refreshes, I mean, that starts being, you spend 100 crystals a day on just refreshes. So if you wanted to be a 3-month farm, you could, but it would cost an extra 100 crystals a day on top of whatever you're spending on energy. So the bad even continues. We don't know what Zepho does. Like, so these guys are going to help us unlock Zepho in the territory battle, and we don't know how good Cal Survivor is going to be. Like, I've said, like, I think he's going to be about as good as Jedi Knight Luke, and people are like, "You're crazy, Zareth. You suck. You're an awful human." No, they haven't said that. Maybe in their heads, probably in their heads, but people don't think he's going to be as good as Jedi Knight Luke. I think he's going to be around there, frankly. Especially if he has an Omicron, he'll be pretty good. He has 3 Omicrons, and people are saying that he's going to have 3 territory battle Omicrons. If you really look at the text, he might. It's open to interpretation, though. Like, they're vague about it. I don't know if he's going to have 3 territory battle Omicrons. I think it's possible that he has 3 of, GAC or Territory War or something, and it just looks like with the text, with their, it's just a really nebulous thing. But we don't know how good he's going to be. That's just a big question mark. And if he's as good as Jedi Knight Luke, is it worth derailing all your plans? The nodes aren't even accelerated, so we're farming them really slow, and we're not going to unlock him on the first go. We might not even unlock him, probably not on the second time it's released, unless the second release is the 6-month mark, like they did with Grand Inquisitor. So lots of bad stuff. Lots of why are we spending resources on this again? There's nothing solid. We don't know if he's good. We don't know if the thing he unlocks is good. The characters that we use to unlock him aren't that good, and they're expensive. So why would we even consider doing this? So let's consider this, though. So what if Cal Survivor is amazing? What if he is as good as Jedi Knight Luke? What if Zepho is something that you really want and your guild really needs a lot of people to help them out on it? What if, guys? Obviously, Saw and Tarf are probably not going to get characters released specifically to support them, so I mean, we could get Gungi from Bad Batch. We might get the Wookiee with a lightsaber at some point, in which case Tarful was probably going to be a great choice. His squad will upgrade, but we don't know that, and it's pretty nebulous. So it boils down to, if Cal Survivor is amazing and you don't want to miss it, and if Zepho, the planet that he helps unlock, is amazing and gives really good rewards, like a new character or something, or maybe just a bunch of bronzium wiring, who knows? That sounds like my kind of mecha. But if we can get those things, we probably want to get those sooner than later, is my guess. And so here's what it would cost, guys. Here's the idea. We don't have to put gear on any of them. We just have to farm these characters, and they're all farmable. I know they're not fast, they're not enhanced or accelerated, whatever you want to call them. So the Cantina farm is the cheap one. It's just 8 energy. You can farm Baby Cal in a week. If you do 3 refreshes in Cantina, he's done real quick, real quick. And he's great. He's great with Starkiller. Honestly, way better than Visas, in my opinion. He is also really good with Rey and a few other builds. I mean, if you're gonna make a Seer squad and put, if you're gonna get Seer, you may as well put Cal on it. So he's very worthwhile farming anyways. Then it costs 180 energy daily to farm Seer, Saw, and Tarf, which, like we said, they're not great, but 180 energy, that's one refresh that you have to buy a day, 50 crystals essentially, and 80 energy daily to farm Marin because she is on ships, and so that's probably one more refresh, so maybe 100 crystals a day if you consider 1.5 refreshes for regular energy and half of a refresh for ships. On average, it's 2 refreshes, 100 crystals. So, 100 crystals a day. And what that gets you, and the reason why I think it's worth the gamble, folks, is that it's it's about 100 crystals a day, and you farm about 50 shards per month. It doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere, but on average, if you look at a 30-day month, you're going to get 50 shards per month, which averages out to be, if you did the marquee events, you're going to be even closer, and that means that you're going to farm that character in less than 6 months from now, if you start from right now. And if you start right now, you'll have the characters farmed in less than 6 months. And the big thing is, all you're doing is farming them. You're not gearing them unless you really care about the characters. I mean, like I said, Marin's gonna be great with Night Sisters. Even just get her gear 12, and the rest of your Night Sisters are garbage as long as your dock is good. Then that squad is set. And, Cal is really good, so you can throw some early gear on them, but otherwise, you don't have to put gear on them. You're just farming some shards. And the thing is, if you wait for a month, and then you find out he sucks, then you can just, stop farming him. Hold on. Okay, that was supposed to say, and then you find out that he's good, you won't be able to get him in 6 months, alright? Like, if you wait right now, and then you're like, oh, hey, I'm gonna be reactive, I'm just gonna farm him if I find out Zepho's good, if I find out Cal is good, and then you wait for a month, you'll be 50 shards short, and you'll have to panic farm, and that's never a good feeling. And, you have to wait till later. I know that maybe it sounds overly simplistic, but here's the thing, guys. Farming these characters early is going to potentially save you a huge headache. I did the same thing for Inquisition when it was announced for my alt. My alt managed to get Grand Inquisitor unlocked after the 6-month mark, and then I was able to contribute to the Riva shards with my guild from day 1. That was really nice, and the only way I could do that was by farming Inquisition when they started being farmable. And same with this, guys. This is just this is speculative, this is gambling, but it could pay off in a huge way if Cal ends up being really good, and if Seer and if Zepho ends up being really good, and maybe Seer, who knows, but if they are really good, you're going to want them, and you're just spending some energy. That's what you're spending right now, is energy. And I know that's painful. You want to be spending that on Chirotech, or you want to be spending it on something else, but it's the cost of potentially getting something really good, and I think that's worth the gamble, frankly. I mean, you guys can let me know what your thoughts are. I'll show you what it looks like on my alt here now, guys. We can't spend too much time, it looks like, but whoa, we're in the game on this new computer. This is basically the same madness. Okay, so here are my current projects, guys. We're gonna just run through them quick. We're at 4.7, and remember, we're going for Star Killer right now. So we have this dash team with Vander Chewbacca. I think this is about where it's going to stay for a while. Maybe Vando's gonna move up, because I think I'm swapping to another capital ship. Actually, we'll look at it. But the big thing that I'm really working on right now, guys, is Darth Treya. So Darth Talon obviously is part of the Star Killer farm, but I'm really farming as hard as I can. You need Relic 3 in order to get into Proving Grounds, and this is the squad that maybe will do it for me. Savage is the big question mark. Who knows? He's just a filler place right now. But the big thing of these big 4, we really want these so that we can start unlocking Malgus shards, anti-interceptor shards as soon as we can. We need Relic 3 on all of them, so that's the big focus. And then obviously Talon feeds into that Star Killer farm. Mara Jade, obviously she's important, but she's not as important as Treya. Treya, I'm dropping everything right now for Treya, guys. Have to get that. And then we have Kyle Katarn. I haven't farmed up to 7 stars. Obviously, like, the Mon Mothma team is about as worthless as can be right now. You know, obviously Biston's going to be good eventually because of the Profundity farm and everything, but I think Kyle Katarn's going somewhere else here based on the revelations in this video previously. So, otherwise, I've been working on farming Radis. You can see he's actually unlocked. Now he is accelerated, so he's going faster. I've stopped refreshing his node, so the progress is about the same, but I'm spending fewer crystals and energy to get the same result, so that's nice. But what I discovered was I'm actually not far at all from Executor unlock. All I need to do is work on Admiral Piet. Obviously he needs Relic 8, so that's a lot, but then TIE Fighter Pilot Dengar and IG-88. Then of course we'd need Cad Bane to have more gear on him. He's just a worthless, like, I don't know, gear 9 or 10, something like that. And then I'd need Bando, but I think Executor's just too close, man. Especially because Radis, I still have to farm him, and then I have to work on all these characters. Obviously, I don't need K2SO, but like Relic 9 on Radis, Relic 8 on Cassian. I already have Relic 7 on Vader, Relic 7 on Boba, so I guess I would need one more on Boba as well. But it seems like, honestly, I'm way closer to Executor, and I think that that's probably just going to be a better farm for this account. Frankly, even though I like Profundity a lot, we'll probably work on Profundity pretty early on still. I think that it just makes too much sense. Plus, Piet is really useful, actually. He's a very useful guy in squads. The rest of these have their uses here and there. So okay, here's the Cal requirements, guys. So obviously not super advanced. I do have Cal farmed because he's going to be part of my Starkiller squad, so I may as well have him farmed. Marin obviously is going to be part of my Night Sisters squad, and you only need a gear 12, and the Night Sisters are all kind of worthless, but you can see like, this is basically all I'm going to have them at. Even once I get Marin up, she'll get gear 12. Probably put her Omicron on. Maybe put the one on Asajj on. I'm not sure yet about that. But this team will do some crazy work for very, very low gear investment. One of the best things ever. Cal, like I said, Cal Jr. is not gonna be that bad. Yeah, so we'll use Cal with Starkiller here. Then I realized I could probably just use Kenobi with this squad for a while. Kind of fun. Tarful and Saw are probably just going to sit on the bench. I guess Saw, the thing is, if we get Saw moving, and I already have a Relic Kyle Katarn, I could just throw, like, Wedge and Biggs are actually requirements for other characters, like Luke. And like Jedi Master Luke, he's required for him, so I may as well just get them geared up anyways and go with Saw. And I don't know how good this squad is. I know that I've seen some good things in 3v3 with Saw and Kyle Katarn. I'll be experimenting with that on my big account this 3v3 season. Stay tuned for those videos, by the way, guys. But then also, I've also been slow farming Boosh and Skiffguard Lando. Now, this doesn't look like much progress, and it feels bad, but remember, this is just single farms. I never got in on the Marquee farm, so this is a month worth of farming, basically. Still working on him. Chrysanthemum, I did do a handful of Sims on him. We'll get him eventually, but like, we can farm him since he's Cantina. We can farm him once we get a little closer with Boosh and Skiffguard. So the biggest priorities on this account, folks, right now, obviously Proving Grounds, hugely important. Really need to be able to get those shards as early as possible because we get them every month. That is the thing I am dropping everything for right now. We have the Executor requirements. Like I said before, important to have a good capital ship so that I can get more income. Right now, I'm barely staying in the top 50 with my fleets. Need to get more than 50 crystals a day. Starkiller requirements, I'm actually kind of like, it looks a little closer than you would have thought. Like gear 11 on Mara, just gear 10 on Talon, but like all of these guys, yes, they're expensive, but they're not too bad. They're not too bad, guys. See the Cal requirements, obviously, so we're just farming them, slow farming them. We're slow farming all this stuff, and I'm gonna keep slow farming Radis because he's a pretty low energy node anyways. Nice to have him. And then the other thing is, guys, I'm actually only a few, like just a couple characters away. Then they don't take Chirotech from being able to unlock General Skywalker. Now, I don't have a great clone team. You can see my clones are pretty worthless. I don't want to be working on them, but I actually do. I just unlocked. I finished this mission here, the first mission, or maybe it's the second mission. I finished that one already, so all I need is this middle one, and I just need, I think B2 is close to ready anyways. We don't need that much gear, like Asajj and B1 I think are ready already, so we just need Magna Guard and Droideka. It's like, well, that's not bad. It's not too bad anyways. They don't I don't think Droideka takes Kyrotech. I think he was released before that nonsense was inserted into the game. So anyways, this is yeah, we have the, then I could have General Skywalker. Then, I don't know, I could start working on getting his shards slowly over time. I mean, it's just so convoluted trying to get him to work, but he could work with he could be a really bad General Skywalker team, or we could just throw him with some Jedi. I don't know, just something. And then the other thing that I'm also looking at, guys, so eventually we want to get Jabba, obviously. That's why we're farming Boushh and Skiff-Guard Lando. But then the other thing of it, guys, is I clicked on the journey guide, but we're not that far away from Jedi Knight Luke either, honestly. Like, I have Wampa farmed all the way, and Hermit Yoda, I've just been getting 5 every time we finish a raid, so I'll finish that in couple weeks, honestly. So once his farm is done, I guess I do have to go through Cantina to get Captain Han Solo. Then I have to put Relic 3 on all of them. So I'm not that close, but I'm also not super far away. Like, even C-3PO's done, so that I could have a full Relic 5 squad. The only one I have, but Jedi Knight Luke would be good because he's part of the Jabba farm anyways. So all these things I'm working on, and all I really have to do, guys, is slow farm the Cal requirements, and I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it, and if we find out the Zepho is bad, we find out the Cal is bad, then I'll just drop it. I don't really care. Like, I'll still farm Marin, and I'll still use Baby Cal, and the other ones will just wait till they're accelerated. It's not a big deal. But I think that the price of getting something that's potentially amazing is very worth a little energy for a month or so till we find out all the requirements and stuff. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails. Take care, everyone.